We're here this morning to provide a significant update pertaining to the 1995 rape and murder of Nacole Smith. We have Nacole Smith's family who is here with us today, who has been incredibly resilient, persistent, and relentless in working with our detectives in solving what's been a 26-year mystery to this point. Detectives have put forth a substantial amount of work. I think I've spoken previously.
14-year-old Nacole Smith had dreams of being a doctor and was just a few days shy of her middle school graduation when she was brutally murdered. Her case was solved nearly 30 years later, and this solved case isn't like the others I've covered so far, and you'll see why. On the Tuesday morning of June 7th, 1995, Nacole Smith, her sister, and a friend were walking on their way to school in southwest Atlanta when Nacole realized she left her homework assignment at home. Nacole then turned around to retrieve it, taking a popular shortcut in some woods that led back to the apartments. At some point, Nacole was approached by a man where he assaulted, raped, and killed her, shooting her twice in the face. Investigators believe that Nacole put up a fight with the person with the gun. Two security guards reportedly heard the shots and ran towards the gunfire, and that is when they found Nacole's body. The items in her book bag made it easy for authorities to name her. Authorities arrived to Nacole's house at around 12 p.m., and when they delivered the news to Nacole's mother, Aquanella, she didn't believe it at first. She called the school to check if Nacole was there, and they told her that she was, but then called back immediately to report that she wasn't. Nacole was later identified at the funeral home by her mother. Nacole's mother told reporters that she could tell her daughter had been crying because she could still see the dried tears on her face. Years later, her mother also admitted that she heard the gunshots as well, indicating that Nacole wasn't too far from home. Nacole's case was a priority for Atlanta police until it went cold. Her family never gave up hope, and her mother never stopped looking for justice. In 2002, Nacole's case was reopened by Detective Vincent Velasquez, but it wasn't until 2004 when he got his big break, after receiving evidence from an attack of a 13-year-old girl. The DNA matched the evidence in Nacole's killing. 13-year-old Betty Brown had been walking home one day when a young man approached her, grabbed her off of Connolly Drive in East Point, pulled her into nearby woods, and brutally raped her. At the time, the suspect was described as a black man with a medium complexion in his late 20s to early 30s. He was around 190 pounds and stood 5 feet tall. He had a gap in his front teeth and wore gold-framed round glasses. Detective Velasquez worked endlessly on the case, conducting hundreds of interviews and over 50 blood samples, being in consistent contact with Nacole's family. He then retired in 2017 and passed over the case to Scott DeMeester, a homicide detective on the Cold Case Squad. Using genealogy and ancestry databases, Scott said it took investigators 3 years to find a person of interest in the case before there was finally a breakthrough. The team got word that the GBI lab was able to match the DNA profile in the unsolved rape of Betty Brown just after Christmas in December 2021. But Nacole's family and Betty will never get to confront 49-year-old Kevin Arnold. It had been reported that he died on August 29, 2021, while in hospice care for liver and kidney failure.
Good morning. And this is a hard one for me.
Miss Smith, I just want to let you know that I'm sorry that we had to meet under these circumstances.
It's okay.
But I feel like we didn't get the closure that we needed, but we got some kind of resolution. Okay? And I'm just thankful for you.
Let me say a couple words. So I just want to just put this in perspective. So this is Betty Brown. This is our victim from East Point. They have formed a connection over the years, and she was 13 years old at the time, but as you can see, it's a very emotional time. And, you know, kudos for her for being brave enough to stand up here, express how she feels, and connect with Nacole's mom. I think that's the most important story here. And I think this sends a message to the community that we don't give up. 26 years, it could have been 36, you know, until I took my last breath. I was going to work this case. So was DeMeester, so was Adrian Love, so was East Point, everybody that's here today. So you probably see me with her over the years a lot. We have done a lot of stuff together. Obviously, not Miss Brown because we keep our victims' names private. But she is no stranger to the camera, you know, and I think, you know, she understands how hard we worked, but we did it because of her. I don't know how many times she's called me in the middle of the night, am I lying? And yelled at me. We stopped talking to each other so many times. We became friends again, and now we're like, we call each other brother and sister. But go ahead and just say a few words.
Today for me is a bittersweet moment. I never imagined this person to be deceased. So many unanswered questions that I had for him that I could never ask or get answers. But I would never say it was closure for me, because I'll live with this pain for the rest of my life. Just taking one day at a time. Those are my plans. Just much more. Nothing much I can say right now. My feelings is just all over the place. I don't know what I'm feeling right now. But I tell you, I'm in so much pain. And it's not a pill could take that pain away. I'm sorry that I didn't get a chance. Can't do this. Can't do it.
I never thought that I will be here speaking. I don't even know what to say. This has been a part of my life that I have hidden for a while because I just did not want to live in that pain anymore. But I'm here. I'm not okay with the situation on how long it took us to get here, but I'm happy that I'm finally here. That he's no longer out there able to do the things to me and Nacole, to others.